We come to you right now with breaking news. President-elect Donald Trump is making headlines during a news conference right now at Mar-a-Lago.
He just railed against the Justice Department and special counsel Jack Smith as he tries to block the release of Smith's final report on Trump's classified documents and election interference criminal cases. Those were dropped after his election victory. NBC News White House correspondent Aaron Gilchrist is live in Washington for us and following this conference. So, Aaron, Trump has said that he defeated Jack Smith. What else has he been saying at this news conference?
Well, Vicki and Morgan, the news conference is still going on. I believe it's been about an hour since this was actually something that started out as remarks that the president-elect was supposed to be giving about economic development. And it did begin that way. He announced $20 billion. A $20 billion investment from a Middle Eastern company to build data centers here in the United States. And then this went into a Q&A session after the president-elect talked for about half an hour, and that Q&A is still going. You noted that he talked about Jack Smith, the special prosecutor who had been looking into classified documents at Mar-a-Lago and into January 6th as well. I want you to hear part of what the president-elect had to say about Jack Smith. As you noted, both of those investigations ended as far as the president-elect is concerned. But hear what he said about Jack Smith.
I defeated deranged Jack Smith. He's a deranged individual. I guess he's on his way back to The Hague. And we won those cases. Those were the biggest ones. And the press made such a big deal out of them. But we did nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong on anything. And the people saw that.
And during this Q&A session, the president-elect was also told he was not aware that the judge in Florida, the judge that was on the classified documents case, has temporarily blocked the release of the special counsel's report on the criminal cases there. And he responded to that by, again, criticizing Jack Smith and saying that this was a good thing ultimately for him as he prepares to come into office in 2 weeks. Morgan and Vicki. He went on and talked about several other things. He was asked about whether he would continue some support for Ukraine. He didn't really give a direct answer on that. He was asked about pardoning people who've been convicted of serious crimes as it relates to the January 6th insurrection. He said, we'll see, when he answered that question. And he did say that he'll be making major pardons without really giving any details about who exactly he'd be pardoning.
There was also these sort of wide-ranging foreign policy promises. I know you mentioned a couple of them, Aaron, but, you know, he's talking, for example, about renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, and then also specifically wanting control of the Panama Canal again. What specifically is he saying, and is there any indication that he has the power to sort of unanimously use his executive power to do those things?
So, honestly, on the Gulf of Mexico, I don't know. It's had that name for centuries, and that's the way it was drawn onto maps. I don't know that there's any, that he would have the power to internationally rename a body of water. Perhaps, and there was an effort years ago by, I think it was a legislator from Mississippi who did try to suggest that there would be a need to rename the Gulf of Mexico, at least as it relates to what Mississippi would call it. So that's sort of out there now as it relates to the Panama Canal, Greenland, Canada. He's not dropping those things. He's still saying that he's bothered by the way some of the interactions with Panama have been. He's talked about Denmark. His son is there in Greenland right now. And so all these things are still very much on the table, Morgan and Vicki.
All right, Aaron Gilchrist following a long and meandering news conference for us. We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.